Last week you guys got a full dose of Phil Chappy at 9 o'clock. And I know that it was a dose that everyone needed. Well, tonight, we're going to go even one more better than that because it's Chappy and it's Arnie and it's 9 o'clock and it's time to talk some fantasy baseball. Fat Chappy, good evening, buddy.
Good meeting back up with you, Arn. It's been a while.
Well, last week we had some technical issues that were challenging, and so we worked it out where you had the 9 o'clock slot, and I listened. You did a great job, and so anyway, it's great to be back together, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah, these hours always fly by. I mean, it's funny. We have similar perspectives, but also very different at times, too. So I think it makes for good conversation. So I'm excited for tonight.
Well, we're getting into the time of season where, we've spent like the first month talking about prospects, which we still will, of course. I gave a report card on some of my guys tonight at 6. We also talk about guys you should grab and guys you should let go of. But tonight, Chappy, it's trade season. I can just feel the winds of trade. I just feel them blowing, don't you?
Man, it's always trade season for me. But yes, I understand what you're saying. You're talking to the guy who traded Max Scherzer and Chris Sale in the first week of the season. So I think it's 50-50 on that,
Wow. Well, yeah. I'm in a league where it's like, grab what you have because if you don't, somebody's going to take it from you. And the guy who won the league last year, his name's Jonathan. Very nice guy, very astute. We're in divisions. I'm in one division, he's in the other, but the same league. But he's in first place in his division. I'm in first place in my division. And for the last 2 days, we've been going back and forth on a trade involving Mike Trout. And I've got Trout. He's got Bregman and Rendon. Real interesting how we're trying to piece it together. But at any rate, you pulled off a major coup last night. Tell us about it.
Oh, man. I'll tell you, it's funny. The key for me, anyway, to fantasy baseball is never be too set in your ways, right? I'm always a very firm believer in you got to give something to get something. And, we had a deal last night. One of my favorite players, and you know that, Arnie, is Matt Chapman. So he was on my team. I actually traded for him earlier in the year. And, a guy in my league actually reached out to me and said, hey, I want to shake things up. Do you want to trade? So the first thing I always do is go look at his roster and cherry pick, right? So we have, in this particular league, it's my home league, we have a 4-spot minor league roster that basically until you get a certain 120 innings pitched or 120 at-bats and 50 innings pitched, you can minor league player, you don't have to keep them on your roster. So basically the gist of it is my trade ended up being I obtained Austin Riley and James Paxton, and I gave up Matt Chapman and Jesus Luzardo. I'm pretty darn happy about that right now. So we shall see how that goes. I know it's a little bit risky, but I have Paxton in another league, so I'm quite happy to have him back and be able to utilize both of those players quickly.
I'll let the listeners know. I get this text message. What was it, 2 days ago from Chappy, and it says, what's the scoop on Big Maple? And I'm like, okay, there's a trade in the works involving Paxton. Let's see what's going on. But I love your trade, and I'll tell you why I love it. First of all, from my show, I told listeners at 6 o'clock, go back and listen to my show 2 weeks ago today, and I told listeners then, go get Austin Riley now. His call-up is imminent, and by gosh, on Thursday, 2 days later, he's in the major leagues.
Yeah.
And what is not to like about Austin Riley? He is an awesome presence at the plate.
Yeah, and we talked about this pretty extensively over the last couple months, but I remember seeing him in Indy 2 years ago as a 19-year-old. Just putting dead to the wall out there, a homer and 2 doubles off the wall as a 19-year-old in AAA. So, you knew he was pretty good then. and it's really impressive to see him being successful in the majors. I think he, as you said earlier, I think he and Chavis are probably the two safest rookies thus far. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I tell you a rookie we tend to forget about, and I think it's because he came along earlier than this latest crop, and that's Nick Senzel of Cincinnati. And I'm a big Senzel guy. I love his multiple positional eligibility. I love him batting leadoff. I think he led off the game tonight with a triple, for example. So I put Senzel and I put the other two in the same basket. I give all those guys A's if I were giving report card grades. But Chavis, I mean, he does it all, doesn't he? I mean, nobody expected this out of him. And I keep hearing all these so-called experts on different shows saying Chavis is going to cool down. Why do we think?
No,
why do we think so? I mean,
I mean, I don't want to brag. I'll tell you, I do this. Anytime you hear quick hands, and that's what the early returns are with him, you know that the kid's going to be able to get the ball through the back to the zone. So I was high on Chavis from very early on. So, I mean, who's going to say he was going to hit whatever it is, 9 homers or whatever it is in his first 60 at-bats? I mean, I'm not saying that. But I knew he was very talented, and I knew he was probably one of the more unheralded players of this crop, and he has been for sure. I think Riley's in that same group.
So let me ask you this: if I can move around just a little bit with you, Chappy.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to take 4 superstars for a moment. Okay,
Sure.
and I'd like to see if you think they are undervalued, overvalued, what their trade value might be. And the four I'd like to talk about with you are Christian Yelich, who's out tonight with a sore back again, Bellinger, Trout, and Betts. Okay, now I just gave you Mount Rushmore, right, for 2019. Okay, Betts, Trout, Bellinger, and Yelich. And so, first of all, what I'd like to ask you, your opinion, rank those right now for 2019 fantasy 1 through 4.
That's tough, man. I love it. I think number 1 for me is it's not close. It's Bellinger. I know that's kind of probably right off the bat, off the wall, right? Anyone chasing a triple crown in the manner that he's doing it, the fact that his batting average is 63 points better than the next closest competitor, and I mean, I don't know how you could go at 23, 24 years old. I don't know how you could go any other direction. Me personally, than Bellinger. He'd be my number 1. My number 2 will probably still be Trout, just because he's Trout. He doesn't have the extreme splits. I put Yelich ahead of Betts. So that's how I put it. I think I always say Cody Bellinger. I think he's just a special player. He showed me a lot of things in this offseason. He showed me that he really cares about his craft. He showed me that he's willing to work hard and put time into making himself better. He's just really shown me that he's a true professional. And I think that goes a long way,
Well, and he's also multi-positional eligible. I mean,
yeah, he's fast.
I love these guys who can play outfield, first base. I love these guys who hit for average power and steal a base. I mean, he reminds me of Trout, just from the other side of the plate. The difference being, I like the protection he has in LA better than the protection Trout has in Anaheim.
How would you rank him, Arnie?
Well, I always rank Trout number 1. I just see the box scores as we get into, and I'm not just talking about May 21. I'm talking about August 21 too. You can bank on 3 things. You can death, there's taxes, and there's Mike Trout. And those are 3 things you can always bank on. And how many times do you look in the box scores in August, July, September, 4 at-bats, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, runs scored, stolen base? I mean, you just know you're going to get it with Trout. Bellinger, I'll be frank, I still look at Bellinger, I look at this 405, 410 average. He's not going to hit that.
No, of course not.
How far down does he drop? And here's my concern, okay? Let's say he finishes the season at 330. Let's just say. Well, he's already played almost a fourth of the season. And for his average to drop that much, then he's got to have some really cold streaks coming up. That's just something, food for thought. Food for thought.
But I don't see that, Arn. I don't see that. I see 350, 360.
Okay.
That's what I see. So, I mean, I get your point, and it's valid, but you're still talking about a 350 player. It's not, first off, no one's trading for or trading you, Cody Bellinger. That's just not happening. I mean, it's like people are holding on to him with dear life, and they should be, right? But the fact of the matter is this kid has shown something, and again, at his age, I think that makes him a value moving forward over the other guys. Because he's 24.
Yeah, he's young.
He's doing this at 24.
I think isn't this his third season? His first season wasn't a full year.
Right.
Last year was his first full season, and this is his third season. Yeah.
So we're starting to see the real Bellinger. It's
Right.
That's how I look at it. We're starting to see what this kid is.
So we got Bellinger and Trout 1-2, 1A, 1 however you want to call it.
Exactly.
And then you've got so now I got to get to this question. You know these stats probably better than I do off the top of your head, but Christian Yelich is a home away split monster. He's like Jekyll and Hyde.
Oh yeah, I mean it's been encouraging, right? He hit 2 on the road this past week,
Right?
Which gives his grand total up to 3, I think, on the year.
I think you're right. Out of 19, I think he's got 19 on his resume.
Yeah, last time I checked, he was hitting 275 on the road. I think that's probably gone up a little bit. But yeah, the splits are concerning. I like Yelich. I don't. He's still a little bit of a risk for me, a la Jose Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
Or Jose Ramirez.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's a chance that he falls off. I don't think it's likely. I think we've seen a long enough sample size out of him that you're gonna get what you're gonna get out of him. I don't think the 334 is that far out of reach. I think that's pretty close. I think maybe 320 he regresses to. The homers, I think, I was listening to something hard, and they were saying from last year at the All-Star break to today, and this was like last week, he's had more homers than anyone except for Barry Bonds and Hank Aaron in a single season. It's something crazy. There's like 2 people, it was those 2 guys. Over that, it was like a full year, just cut in half. So the guy's on a hell of a tear, right?
Oh, no doubt. And I'm not giving you chopped liver. I'm giving you Mount Rushmore to start with.
Yeah, 1 through 4, basically.
Yeah.
So here I have it in front of me now. Away from home, Yelich is hitting 269. He's got 4 homers, 9 RBIs, 16 runs.
Wow. So he's mortal. He's mortal on the road.
He's got 23 strikeouts away compared to 11 at home.
Wow. What a difference.
Absolutely. I don't know what they're putting in that bratwurst up there, but it definitely helps him.
Yeah, he needs to play in Milwaukee like Gleyber Torres needs to play in Baltimore.
I'm glad you brought him up. That guy, Arnie, I talked about him on my show. I think he might hit 30 homers this year.
I think you're right. And I think he might steal 20 bags to go with it.
I'll tell you, I looked at his stats when I was doing research. I'm like, crap, he's hit 10 homers? When did this happen? It's not even warm yet. That ball's going to fly to Yankee Stadium in the summer. I see him going on a streak, man. I don't know how.